Hey, good morning. How you doing today? Out here walking this morning. It's a beautiful day. Sky's really clear. It's a little cool. Starting to be fall, which is my favorite season. So, in the last video, we were talking a little bit about faith and how that a person's faith is only as good as what it's placed in. And a lot of times there are some misunderstandings about Christianity because we're not using the same terminology, or we misunderstand what we're talking about when we use certain words. So I wanted to dive a little bit into what faith is, biblical faith. What is that? And I think probably the best place to look at biblical faith is the book of Hebrews, and Hebrews 11:1. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It goes on a little bit later to say that it's not possible to please God without faith. That in order to come to God, one must believe that he both is and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And then it steps through, talks about the different heroes of the faith from the Old Testament, and talks about how those people had faith. They believed God and they looked forward to his promises. So in that definition of faith, I just see that there's a component of hope. It says it's the substance of things hoped for. So I don't, there's a desire component to faith as well as a belief component. And as you go on through Hebrews, it talks about that those people that they were talking about, the heroes of the faith, they even talked about, I think, some probably New Testament believers who were martyred or killed for their faith. But he talked about the Old Testament heroes of the faith. They died without receiving the promises. And so their faith was such that they believed it. They embraced it to the end. And I don't know how you do that unless you have just a burning desire for that to be. And I can't, I was listening to something the other day, and I can't for the life of me now remember where this came from, but this person said you can't believe something that you know. So, but I mean, I think the point they were making was that belief and knowing are different things. You believe something implies that you don't know it for certain. Whereas if you know something, you know it to be true. And what I would say as far as worldview, because Christianity is a worldview, it's a way of looking at the world. A worldview is basically the collection of your beliefs about the world, about existence. And ultimately, from what we know about the universe, the world and the universe, it's so vast that is impossible for an individual human just to know everything about it. And so we formulate beliefs about the universe, they're beliefs that, regardless of your position, ultimately are by faith, because you just can't know certain truths about the entire universe by just from your own knowledge. And so that's why we need, the way that we would know things about God is for him to reveal them to us. There are certain things, like in theology, we talk about natural revelation and in special revelation. And we can take, just from observing creation and nature, we can observe certain things about reality directly, but then God reveals certain things to us through his special revelation, his word. And so the point I'm trying to make with this is that regardless of your worldview, you know, even an atheist has faith, if you will, that there's no God. And so we all have faith. And like the example that we used the other day, that faith is only as good. You know, I used to work for a guy, and we'd have these long discussions when we were driving around different places looking at jobs, and we would talk about faith, and he's like, yeah, faith, man, faith is good. You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith, as if faith in and of itself was the good thing. But the fact of the matter is that faith is only as good as what it's placed in. And so, you know, we all exercise some faith. If you say you don't exercise faith, that's just not true. And so, you know, seriously examine your beliefs. And I would challenge you to examine the truth claims of the Bible. I made a comment at the end of the video, in the last video, that you can put your faith in the Bible, that you can believe the Bible. And the Bible is how we know about God. You know, a faith in the Bible is not what gets us right with God, but what actually gets us right with God is faith in Christ. We know about Christ through the Bible, but just having faith in the Bible by itself isn't sufficient. We're putting our faith in Christ. So some deep thoughts to think about this morning. So hope you have a great day.